Fearless Focus: How to Crush Distractions and Achieve Big Goals, written and published by Sonic Digest. There's a subtle yet powerful force that shapes our actions every single day. It's not the urgent demands of our to-do lists, nor the relentless ping of notifications. It's the unseen battle within, the choice between the whisper of ambition and the roar of distraction. The moments we let slip away are the very building blocks of our potential. Yet as life moves at an ever-accelerating pace, the noise around us grows louder, more insistent and more pervasive. In a society where multitasking is king, and every second comes at the cost of 1,000 potential diversions, focus has become an elusive and prized possession. It's not just about sitting down and completing a task. It's about the kind of attention that turns fleeting ideas into monumental progress. It's the power to channel your thoughts with pinpoint precision, to push forward when the world screams for your attention in every conceivable way. But what if the tools you need to master focus already exist within you? What if the secret isn't just in finding the time to work, but in mastering how you inhabit it? Picture the feeling of being so wholly immersed in what matters most that the rest of the noise fades to background hum, irrelevant and powerless. The path to such mastery doesn't require an extraordinary life or uncommon talent. It demands a deliberate decision to reclaim control, a relentless commitment to guard your mental space. This is the quest to build not just a practice, but a mindset, a rhythm that transforms how you approach everything you want to achieve. It's where ambition meets discipline, and where the pressure to conform to external expectations becomes a backdrop to your personal pursuit of greatness. Here, you'll find that the real magic happens not in the absence of distractions, but in the unwavering ability to defy them time and again. It's time to shift the narrative, time to embrace what it means to master focus, not as a fleeting state, but as a powerful, unyielding force that fuels your greatest achievements. The journey begins now. Chapter 1: The Noise and the Clarity. In a world brimming with relentless activity, it can be difficult to distinguish between what truly matters and what merely clamors for attention. We are constantly pulled in 1,000 directions, each demand more insistent than the last. The continuous influx of information, whether through screens, conversations, or the ever-present hum of modern life, threatens to fragment our focus and scatter our minds. Amid this cacophony, the pursuit of clarity becomes not just a challenge, but a necessity for any meaningful progress. True mental sharpness is an art, a conscious choice to focus on the signal and ignore the noise. It begins with recognizing the subtle tug of distractions, those moments when our attention drifts from a task even when we're sitting right in front of it. It's the mind wandering during an important conversation, or the sudden, irresistible need to check an email when we should be creating. Every distraction carries a small price, a momentary leak of energy that adds up, leaving our reserves depleted and our thoughts fragmented. To navigate this modern whirlwind, one must cultivate the ability to draw clear lines between genuine importance and the illusion of urgency. The relentless hum of notifications, the impulse to multitask, and the pressure to stay perpetually connected are not inherently bad, but their unchecked prevalence can drown out the subtle, focused work that leads to real achievement. It's in understanding that moments of stillness and quiet are not empty but full. They are where the mind can recalibrate and sharpen itself, away from the ever-racing current of external demands. True focus is forged in the silence between these moments, in the decision to pause and reclaim command over one's attention. It thrives in rituals that promote discipline and in environments tailored to nurture deep work. To build mental sharpness, one must engage in the kind of introspection that uncovers where time is slipping away, noticing the patterns of distraction that have become second nature. This awareness is the cornerstone of transformation, the ability to shift gears from a reactive to a proactive state. With intention, our minds can learn to recognize the false allure of scattered productivity, the illusion that doing many things at once equates to real progress. Clarity demands that we understand that true efficiency is not measured by the number of tasks we tackle, but by the depth and quality of our focus on each one. It's about learning to say no with confidence, not only to external demands, but to the internal ones that pull us in different directions. It's in the moments when we shut down distractions, not just for an hour, but as a discipline woven into our daily lives, that we begin to reclaim our power. The journey to clarity is not without its obstacles. It requires courage to face the discomfort of silence and the discipline to resist the habitual pull of instant gratification. But it is precisely in these moments that the greatest potential lies, where the mind has the space it needs to reach new heights of creativity and insight. Within this practice, the clutter of external noise begins to fade, revealing a sharp, focused mind capable of sustained attention and profound work. When we choose to live with intention and presence, we realize that clarity is not a rare gift reserved for a few, but a skill to be honed. It's the steadfast commitment to guarding our time and cultivating an environment that supports what we truly aim to achieve. This becomes the bedrock of progress, the foundation upon which every bold step and every great accomplishment is built. Chapter 2. Building Mental Armor. In a world where the mind is under constant siege from every angle, the need for mental resilience has never been more critical. It's not just the big challenges that demand our focus. It's the smaller, insidious distractions that chip away at our attention, one fragment at a time. The ability to build mental armor doesn't just protect against the noise, it strengthens us to rise above it, allowing us to harness our focus and channel our energy toward what truly matters. This mental fortitude doesn't come from simply trying to push through distractions. It's the result of strategic preparation and conscious reinforcement. Mental armor is forged in the deliberate practices that create boundaries and routines. These are the rituals that serve as a shield against external and internal interruptions, enabling one to stay aligned and unyielding even when the demands on our attention grow louder. A key element of building this resilience is understanding the nature of energy itself. It's not enough to simply manage time. We must learn to manage our energy, the source that fuels our productivity and mental clarity. This requires identifying when we are at our most effective and aligning our most important tasks with these windows of peak performance. A task performed with full energy will always yield better results than one approached with diminished focus. Recognizing this cycle of peak and dip is the first step in creating an environment where productivity becomes less about brute force and more about strategic alignment. The most resilient individuals understand that their minds, like their bodies, require conditioning. This conditioning comes from embracing periods of focused work without the temptation to scatter attention. It's the practice of deliberate disengagement, blocking off time when digital interruptions are minimized, when the mind is allowed to immerse fully in one task, and when the distraction of external demands takes a back seat. It's not just about resisting the urge to respond to an incoming message or jumping between tasks. It's about training the mind to recognize and prioritize, to evaluate whether an external pull warrants our energy or if it's better left unaddressed. Resilience can also be built by fortifying our mental space with positive habits and routines that promote focus. This is not limited to work, but extends to the rituals that prepare the mind to enter a state of peak focus. Morning routines that center the mind, brief moments of meditation to reset, or daily reflections that assess what is being accomplished and what remains to be prioritized. These practices are like daily drills that train the mind to become more adept at spotting when it's veering off course and bringing it back to what matters most. Maintaining alignment and productivity is as much about protecting your mental space as it is about the work itself. This means creating clear boundaries that respect when and where work happens. The concept of work zones can be an invaluable practice. Environments designed to trigger a focus response, whether it's a specific desk, a certain playlist, or even the way one positions themselves during deep work. Each of these signals acts as a part of the mental armor, forming a psychological cue that it's time to shift into a more resilient and productive state. But true resilience doesn't stop at the first signs of fatigue or a minor setback. It is tested when we face persistent distractions and demands. It is the steady resolve to acknowledge these challenges and decide in that moment that the work we are doing is worth more than the fleeting comfort of distraction. Mental armor, when strengthened, doesn't just keep distractions at bay. It changes the way we approach them, not as obstacles, but as points of testing our resolve and sharpening our focus. This is where the real strength lies, in the choice to rise above, to redirect the mind with intention, and to use the friction of distraction as fuel for a more focused path forward. Chapter 3. The power of micro-moments and flow. The smallest actions often carry the potential for the greatest impact. It is within these micro-moments that habits are reinforced, focus is sharpened, and the foundation for sustained progress is laid. Micro-moments can be brief pauses before a task, the decision to set your phone aside, or the way you channel your attention into the present moment. These are not fleeting fragments of time, but rather powerful intersections where intention meets opportunity. When harnessed correctly, they act as catalysts for entering a state of flow, a mental zone where the world recedes and the mind becomes fully absorbed in the task at hand. Flow is more than just productivity. It is an experience where skill and challenge align perfectly, creating an energized state of complete involvement. The brain, in this state, operates on a different frequency, less influenced by the noise of external interruptions and more attuned to the subtle cues of focused concentration. What sets individuals apart is their ability to recognize and initiate these moments. Developing the skill to enter flow consistently comes not from chasing it, but from creating an environment that invites it. It's about removing the clutter that distracts the mind and setting up the conditions for sustained attention. Designing an environment that supports flow is crucial. It begins with intentionality, choosing where and how you work, minimizing visual and auditory distractions, and understanding your optimal work patterns. The placement of objects, the temperature of the room, even the light levels, all play a role in how the mind responds. The less a person needs to adapt to their surroundings, the more energy can be directed toward the task. This type of preparation doesn't just set the stage, it aligns the mind, ensuring that entering the zone becomes second nature. Equally important is the practice of micro-reflections, moments when you pause to assess and redirect your focus. These moments don't interrupt the flow, but refine it, helping the mind stay locked in without drifting. It can be as simple as a brief scan of your surroundings to re-anchor your attention, a breath to reset your posture, or a quick note on what's been accomplished. Such moments can be the difference between minor distractions breaking the flow and maintaining an uninterrupted run of productivity. The power of micro-moments extends to how one interacts with their internal dialogue. Recognizing when self-doubt or negative thoughts start to intrude is part of the process. Redirecting these thoughts requires a proactive approach that brings attention back to the task at hand. With practice, this becomes easier. A trained mind can shift its focus swiftly, treating distractions as an invitation to refocus rather than a setback. Creating a cadence that fosters flow involves not just the physical setup, but the mental preparation as well. This can be achieved by establishing clear goals for each session of focused work. The mind tends to be more resilient when there is a specific target, a clear vision of what the end of the session should look like. This way, even when small interruptions occur, there is a guiding principle that helps maintain momentum. Micro-moments also come into play outside of the traditional workspace. Daily habits, such as the way you start and end your day, set the tone for mental clarity. Morning routines that incorporate intention setting, moments of deep breathing, or brief meditative practices can lay the groundwork for sustained focus. Similarly, winding down in the evening with reflection and gratitude can help reset the mind, preparing it for the demands of the next day. It is in these seemingly insignificant slices of time that the potential for profound transformation lies. A 5-minute break taken with intention, a moment spent disconnecting from digital noise, or a pause to celebrate a small win, each is a powerful building block. When accumulated, these moments create an unyielding focus, paving the path for larger accomplishments and the sustained effort needed to reach them. Flow, nurtured by these micro-moments, becomes less an elusive state and more a continuous cycle, a rhythm that fuels productivity and empowers you to achieve at your peak. Chapter 4. Intentional Focus and Selective Ignorance. In a world flooded with choices and relentless information, the ability to exercise intentional focus has become more essential than ever. It begins with clarity, an understanding of what truly matters, an acknowledgement of where your time and energy should be directed. Without it, even the most productive individuals can become entangled in the web of busyness, spinning in circles, but never making substantial progress. Intentional focus is not merely about managing tasks. It is about discerning which tasks are worthy of your attention and which can be consciously set aside. Selective ignorance is the secret companion to intentional focus. It is the practice of deliberately choosing what not to engage with, tuning out distractions, and ignoring the noise that does not align with your goals. It is an act of bravery and wisdom, one that guards your mental bandwidth. The art of selective ignorance requires discipline, the ability to say no when opportunities arise that do not serve your purpose, and the presence of mind to remain unshaken by external influences that pull you away from your priorities. Creating an environment that supports intentional focus involves more than just turning off notifications. It calls for the careful curation of your surroundings, both physical and digital. This might mean a workspace uncluttered by unnecessary items, or a digital world pared down to only the tools that contribute to your objectives. The practice extends to managing your time, adopting routines that help preserve your mental energy. Each choice, what to keep, what to discard, what to engage with, reinforces the commitment to stay aligned with your most important goals. Intentional focus also means recognizing the power of moments of silence and solitude. These are not just breaks or pauses, they are opportunities to recalibrate. In these moments, the mind can sift through the flood of information and discern what is significant from what is superfluous. In a state of solitude, free from constant input, the mind becomes a powerful tool for creation, strategic thinking, and innovation. Solitude allows for clarity, giving you the space to separate impulses from intentions and respond to situations with purpose rather than reaction. Selective ignorance can manifest in the boundaries you set around your time and attention. This could mean choosing not to engage in every conversation or avoiding news cycles that offer little substance but significant distraction. It requires mindfulness to notice when a situation or interaction is drawing you away from your objectives. By setting these boundaries, you not only protect your focus, but actively foster an environment where deep work can thrive. This conscious choice to limit exposure to non-essential stimuli preserves the energy needed for the pursuits that are truly meaningful. Mastering this art extends beyond simply blocking out distractions. It involves training the mind to embrace moments of discomfort when something appears to require your attention. It's easy to be swayed by the pull of constant updates or fleeting trends, yet each time you choose to refocus, you strengthen your capacity to stay true to your path. It's about the resilience to let go of the idea that you must be constantly available or informed. There is profound power in choosing to limit your awareness to what adds value to your life and work. Intentional focus also calls for the evaluation of priorities. Prioritization is not a one-time task, but an ongoing process, a periodic assessment of what holds the most importance. This requires asking questions. What is the return on my investment of time and energy? Is this activity aligned with my long-term goals? By cultivating a mindset that prioritizes meaningful pursuits and rejects the trivial, you direct your efforts in ways that matter most. The practice of intentional focus and selective ignorance transcends mere productivity. It becomes a lifestyle that allows for growth, satisfaction, and fulfillment. It reshapes the way we relate to time and effort, transforming them from finite resources to powerful tools that propel us forward. The conscious decision to hone your focus and filter out the extraneous is a testament to the mastery of your own mind and the pursuit of a life driven by purpose. Chapter 5. The 100-Hour Rule and Daily Rituals. The path to mastery, in its truest form, unfolds not in monumental bursts of effort, but in consistent, deliberate actions. The concept of dedicating time to a pursuit, breaking it down into manageable, purposeful segments, emerges as an effective strategy for embedding focus and commitment into one's daily routine. Every task becomes a step in the journey, cemented into the fabric of your day, until it forms part of an unwavering, productive cycle. Constructing a schedule that weaves in essential rituals creates a framework for mental discipline. This is more than a structured plan. It's a ritual of reinforcement. Morning rituals, for instance, set the tone of the day, aligning mental and emotional states with what matters most. This period of intentional silence, gratitude, and reflection, often bolstered by physical movement, acts as a foundation for the day's activities. Such practices align mind and body, sharpening one's ability to engage deeply with tasks. Progress isn't measured solely by an end goal, but by the engagement and intention applied during the journey. Achieving mastery begins with the ability to stay committed, to train the mind to shift from reactive to proactive. The discipline lies in knowing what to prioritize and understanding that small, steady increments over time yield more lasting results than relentless, haphazard efforts. The repetition of these practices trains the brain to work efficiently and fosters a sense of confidence as one gains control over distractions. Daily rituals fuel this transformation by embedding these practices into the neural pathways. The power of repeated actions lies in their ability to bypass the mental chatter and bring the mind to a state where focus is almost automatic. It isn't just about setting aside time. It's about embracing a mindset that sees productivity not as a series of tasks, but as a way of life. This consistent rhythm reduces the energy spent battling against fleeting distractions and instead channels that energy toward meaningful endeavors. The consistency of these practices also becomes a compass, pointing back to purpose when the world starts to pull in different directions. A ritual can act as a touch point, a reminder of why you embarked on this path. Setting aside even just an hour each day can create a transformative effect when done consistently, cultivating resilience and sharp focus that spills over into all areas of life. This ritualistic dedication nurtures a commitment that grows stronger, amplifying one's ability to reach a state of deep focus. By creating a solid framework of structured yet adaptable rituals, the path toward mastery becomes clearer and more achievable. Over time, these small moments aggregate, creating an unbreakable mindset anchored in resilience and purpose. A life infused with purposeful rituals, supported by intentional practice, transcends a mere schedule. It transforms into a life lived with unyielding focus and mastery. Chapter 6. Shields Up and the Vision Ahead. To navigate through the relentless tide of modern distractions, it is essential to establish a protective barrier for your mental space. The world today thrives on a constant stream of information, a flood of notifications, messages, and digital engagements that fragment focus and blur priorities. To maintain a clear mind, proactive steps must be taken to guard it against these pervasive disturbances. This mental fortification begins with self-awareness, recognizing moments when focus drifts and understanding what triggers these interruptions. Once these moments are identified, strategies can be applied to strengthen mental resilience and maintain concentration on what truly matters. An essential aspect of fortifying the mind is developing the ability to filter and limit exposure to the noise that clutters the mental landscape. It requires a discerning approach to how one allocates time and energy, consciously choosing what to engage with and what to let pass by unnoticed. This is not about withdrawal from all distractions, but about understanding which ones are necessary and which ones sap your energy and attention. It is the act of deliberately choosing to prioritize tasks and interactions that align with long-term goals, even when the allure of instant gratification is strong. Constructing an environment conducive to sustained focus is another cornerstone in defending the mind. This involves curating a workspace and daily routine that minimize interruptions, optimize productivity, and encourage deep work. The physical setting should serve as an anchor, aiding in the mental transition from a state of distraction to one of deep immersion. This could include turning off unnecessary notifications, scheduling uninterrupted blocks of time for work, or establishing rituals that signal the beginning and end of focused sessions. Over time, these actions carve out a pattern that becomes second nature, reprogramming habits and reinforcing the mental barriers necessary for long-term vision. Beyond daily practices, shielding the mind is also about fostering a sense of purpose and vision that transcends the immediate moment. When the mind is anchored in a long-term perspective, the relentless demands of the present become more manageable. This focus on future aspirations provides a strong compass, helping to navigate through moments of doubt and distraction. Long-term thinking involves creating a vision so compelling that it serves as a constant reminder of why short-term sacrifices are worthwhile. It draws energy from a sense of meaning, which acts as a natural deterrent against the pull of the trivial. Guarding the mind also means acknowledging the power of reflection. Pausing to evaluate your mental state, assessing whether you are aligned with your objectives or drifting in response to external influences, is an integral part of this process. Reflection serves as an anchor, helping you recalibrate and maintain clarity. It provides an opportunity to adjust course when necessary, ensuring that your focus remains directed toward your long-term aspirations. The most profound defense against modern distractions lies in the conscious decision to commit to consistent, intentional practices that reinforce clarity and focus. Over time, this becomes more than a method. It becomes an integral part of your mindset. The ability to keep shields up while staying oriented toward the vision ahead transforms fleeting moments of productivity into sustained achievement, steadily propelling you toward goals that resonate with depth and significance. Chapter 7. The Feedback Catalyst and Your Game. Mastering the art of feedback is not just about absorbing praise or enduring criticism. It is a dynamic practice that fuels growth and sharpens the focus necessary for sustained achievement. Real progress is born from moments of reflection, where the raw data of experiences is transformed into a strategic advantage. True winners understand that the path to mastery is a loop, an ever-evolving cycle of action, analysis, and adaptation. Feedback, when embraced as a cornerstone of development, becomes an invaluable tool that propels individuals beyond their comfort zones. It begins with the awareness that every action carries the potential for insight. Successful people don't wait for feedback to be handed to them. They actively seek it out, turning every setback and victory into a lesson. They know that without this input, improvement becomes an uncertain journey at best. The process involves being courageous enough to look at the uncomfortable aspects of performance, not with judgment, but with a sense of curiosity. This openness demands humility, the recognition that there is always room to refine, pivot, and enhance skills. It is not the critique itself that brings change, but the ability to use it constructively and integrate its lessons into future actions. Feedback goes beyond external sources. It should include self-reflection, where individuals take time to objectively assess their decisions, behaviors, and outcomes. This personal examination should be free from ego and driven by a desire to fine-tune strategy. This discipline involves asking questions that challenge assumptions. What went well and why? What didn't work, and how could it be approached differently? How do these patterns align with long-term goals? In a world flooded with noise and endless comparisons, celebrating personal achievements becomes more crucial than ever. It is easy to become fixated on how one measures up to others, but true progress lies in recognizing and appreciating one's growth, no matter how incremental it may seem. Each milestone, no matter how small, reinforces the foundation of confidence that drives continued effort and resilience. Recognizing this personal victory is not about diminishing others' successes. It's about ensuring that your unique path remains meaningful and driven by authentic standards of accomplishment. While external feedback offers valuable perspectives, internal validation forms the bedrock of enduring motivation. It is important to distinguish between constructive criticism and empty noise, filtering what serves progress from what only serves to distract or deflate. This selective listening ensures that only the input aligned with personal vision and values informs the next move. Cultivating a mindset that welcomes critique and values the lessons of experience, while cherishing personal milestones, transforms the way challenges are approached. Rather than seeing feedback as a potential source of discouragement, it becomes an essential tool for refinement. When you see feedback as an investment in your future rather than a judgment of the present, you create a proactive approach that feeds into continuous development and the achievement of meaningful, long-term success. Chapter 8. The Fearless Future. Sustaining focus and living boldly requires more than simply setting goals or having clear intentions. It demands a mindset anchored in resilience and a vision that refuses to be swayed by the immediate uncertainties of the present. To embrace a fearless future, one must understand that real growth happens when we step beyond the bounds of what is comfortable and familiar. It is in those moments that potential is realized and barriers dissolve. The pursuit of an audacious life involves confronting fears, not just accepting them as obstacles, but recognizing them as catalysts for transformation. Fear thrives in the unknown, and often manifests as a voice that tells us what we cannot do or reminds us of past failures. Yet, true progress emerges when individuals turn the intimidating unknown into a field of possibility, challenging those self-imposed limits and proving them wrong with action. Sustained focus in this context does not merely mean being able to maintain attention on a task. It is about aligning that focus with purpose and intent that transcend the immediate. It is knowing what matters most and maintaining that clarity even when distractions tug at your attention and doubt creeps in. The ability to stay focused requires discipline and an understanding that commitment is not just a momentary decision, but a practice repeated day after day. Each day is an opportunity to reinforce that commitment, keeping long-term goals in sight and infusing the present with meaning. Living boldly means choosing to act in alignment with your values and vision, even when it feels uncomfortable or contrary to the norms around you. This kind of courage isn't loud or reckless. It's deliberate and grounded. It's the quiet, confident step forward, even when you don't have every answer. The decision to move through uncertainty, armed with belief in your ability to adapt, learn, and overcome. Bold action springs from a deep well of trust in oneself, which has been built through countless experiences where risks were taken and lessons were learned. To sustain this fearless approach, it is important to cultivate habits that build strength, clarity, and resilience. A daily practice of mindfulness or reflection can create the space needed to quiet the noise of doubt and amplify the inner voice that speaks with conviction. This inner voice guides you toward actions that align with a higher purpose, reinforcing a mindset that challenges limitations and sees them as opportunities for growth. It becomes an echo that drowns out external opinions and reaffirms your ability to shape your path. At the heart of living boldly is the refusal to settle for mediocrity or live by default. Every individual has a unique contribution to make, and those who live with fearless determination understand that their potential is not predetermined. It is created by the decisions they make and the courage they muster in their day-to-day lives. The small, often unnoticed choices made when nobody is watching are what sculpt the future, piece by piece, into something extraordinary. People who master the art of focus and fearlessness don't only overcome obstacles, they use them as stepping stones. They understand that challenges are not impediments, but necessary components of progress. With each hurdle faced, confidence grows, pushing them to take on greater and greater challenges. The more you face fear and act in spite of it, the more you build the mental muscle required to act boldly when it matters most. Sustained focus and a fearless approach are not born from a single moment of triumph, but from a series of choices, moments of courage, and a willingness to live with purpose, even when the path is not clear. It is in this continuous, conscious commitment that individuals find themselves not just surviving, but truly thriving and embodying their highest potential. Conclusion: the journey to personal and professional greatness is never a straight path. It is a series of decisions, moments, and challenges that test our resolve, our ability to focus, and our capacity to rise above the noise. This book has been designed to guide you through the essential components of achieving mastery in any endeavor, laying the groundwork for a life defined not by limitations, but by bold, purposeful actions. From harnessing micro-moments to maintaining unwavering focus through selective ignorance, each principle is aimed at creating a foundation that supports sustained progress. The 100-hour rule and daily rituals help establish habits that embed discipline and create a cycle of positive reinforcement. The act of protecting your mind and thinking long-term ensures that the distractions of the modern world do not erode your potential. Recognizing feedback as a catalyst for improvement transforms challenges into opportunities, allowing growth and mastery to flourish. Lastly, living boldly and sustaining focus are the cornerstones that anchor you as you continue forward, shaping your path with unwavering determination. Embracing this mindset is not about perfection. It is about consistency, resilience, and the willingness to evolve. Each of these principles, when integrated into daily life, builds a framework that empowers you to navigate the complexities of personal growth with clarity and purpose. The fearless future you seek does not simply happen. It is forged in moments of decision and reinforced through persistent action. As you move forward, carry with you the understanding that mastery and fulfillment are not destinations, but ongoing journeys. They are the product of the small, purposeful steps taken day by day. Continue to cultivate the habits, focus, and mindset that align with your vision, and know that the path you carve is uniquely yours. The power to transform, grow, and achieve lies within you, now and always.